in this lesson, we're going to learn how to ride in deep sand. I've already taught you cornering technique for hard pack, and everything I taught you, let's throw that out the window. Because when it comes to deep sand, we want to sit right on the back to get more traction over the rear wheel. We want to be aggressive with the throttle and the gas, because otherwise we're just going to spin and not move. We need to power very aggressively in deep sand to move anywhere. As soon as we come off the gas, we're going to come to a stop and we're going to fall over. So the number one tip for deep sand is ride sat on the back of the seat for more traction. And don't worry about the handling of the front end, which you lose by sitting at the back, because when you're riding in deep sand, you're not going to have any handling on the front end anyway. We need to try and steer with the rear wheel and the power. Okay, so the second tip for riding in deep sand is forget about your braking. I taught you use both brakes, use the engine brake. When it comes to sand, especially deep sand, we don't really need our front or our rear brake so much. By just coming off the gas and using less throttle, the bike is going to come to a stop. So all we need to do is slow down off the gas and the bike will slow down naturally. We don't need to worry about the front or the rear brake. We can still use engine brake, which is going to help us, but we definitely don't need to use the front and rear brake as much in deep sand. Okay, my third tip for riding in deep sand is weight your foot pegs. When your feet are weighting on the foot pegs, that is giving more traction to your tires. If you're paddling with both feet, suddenly you don't have the grip or the traction on the tires and you're not going to move anywhere, you're just going to spin. So if you can, try and keep both feet on the foot pegs. And if it's a sharp 180 turn, you may need to take one foot off, but make sure that your outside foot is always on the foot peg. And if you need, you can have your inside foot up in the air. My final tip for deep sand riding, and this is more for your intermediate level riders, not so much for your beginners, is lean the bike over. In hard pack, if you lean the bike over too much, you can lose traction and just slide out. Where sand actually gives us the opportunity to lean the bike over, be aggressive on the gas, and we can still maintain all the way through our balance. Because these sandy berms will hold us in place. We may push through them, but we're not going to wash the front or the rear end because the berm will hold us in place. So we want to use a lot more throttle and be a lot more aggressive in deep sand, and we can afford to do that. We don't need to be as cautious or as smooth. Okay guys, if you like this video and found it helpful, please like it and subscribe to our page, and click on the video on screen now to find out some more helpful tips for riding off-road in Vietnam.